What's up? This is Alex from Whitechapel,
This is Phil from Whitechapel.
and you're watching PitCam.tv.
Hi, I'm Monica with PitCam, and I'm here with Alex and Phil from Whitechapel. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Pretty good, no complaints.
Yeah. Good.
Phil, some people claim that your vocals are heavily filtered, in order to get that deep. What do you have to say about that?
No, I mean, people always ask me if I do inhale vocals, and I do all outwards, and none of my voice is processed. If anything, with any album, any metal album, they're going to put a little bit of gain on it, not distortion, gain, and just to give it a little bit more of like a crisper sound. But all the vocals I've ever done have always been natural. I have never put any processed effects on it or anything.
The lyrics have evolved since the first album, and you claim yourself that you're getting better at it. In what way?
I mean, whenever you scream, you have like certain like, like it's hard to explain. Like you have like feelings in whenever you scream, and if you can find like different ways to open up your air passages and different ways to push from certain parts of your body, and I just experiment with that and try to figure out how to make the sound. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Like kids always ask me how I do what I do, and I just tell them I just do it. It's like one of those talents that you find whenever you're a kid, or you don't know how to explain how to do it. You just know how to do it. I don't know.
On the first album, the lyrics were mostly about killing people, inspired by Jack the Ripper, stuff like that. But now it's more about life as you view it. Would you say it like that?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to death metal, you can only write about the same thing so many times. I mean, you can write about killing people and stuff like that. It's mostly like it depends on what kind of death metal it is too, though. It can be like gore metal is more about like killing, and death metal can be about like like weird stuff and like space and all kinds of crazy stuff. And you just kind of have to like dig in your mind and write about stuff that people can actually relate to, and not just the same thing over and over and over again, because that just gets worn out.
And how would you say that you have changed or evolved as a lyrical writer?
I guess just I looked into my past life and hard times that I've went through, and just wrote about that, and just life and anything that can happen in the world. It's just digging in my brain to find stuff, and most of the stuff I've written is just fantasy stuff. It's not real. Some of the stuff some of the songs are a little more sentimental to me, but other than that, like the past albums, like Somatic Defilement, that was all fantasy stuff. None of that was real. I mean, if death metal shouldn't be taken seriously, because obviously if lyricists or vocalists were out there doing what they're talking about in their songs, they'd obviously be in prison right now. So, but I don't know. I just like to write about stuff that's actually like kind of meaningful, so people can actually kind of relate to it or figure out what I'm talking about. And that's the beauty about lyrics. You can write about something. Somebody can take it one way. Somebody else can take it a different way.
So tell me about the song Murder Sermon that has this special meaning for you.
That song is about my father died whenever I was 10 years old, and then my stepfather came into the picture, and he was kind of addicted to crack cocaine, and got my mom addicted to it. And basically he came in and was promising all these things, like that he's going to make everything better, and bringing religion into it and everything, talking about how he's a man of God, but he was abusive and was addicted to drugs and everything. It just goes to show you that, like, if somebody tells you that they're a Christian, they could be the biggest hypocrite in the world. I mean, it just goes to show you have to get to know people, and it takes a lifetime to build trust and a second to break it. So it's that song's kind of about him, and just all the stuff that happened.
How big of an influence would you say that this has had on not just your life, but also the way you approach songwriting and, you know, lyrics and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a lot to write about. It gives you a lot to think about and put on paper and let people relate to you. And you know, kids can listen to the songs and listen to the lyrics and, you know, read the lyrics. And like I said, that a person could relate to that song in a different way, and another person could relate to it in a completely opposite way. And I don't know. It's really helped me to, you know, actually get my emotions out instead of just like living in a fantasy world. I can actually uh, talk about stuff and not be afraid to talk about what's happened to me, because, you know, nobody's perfect. Nobody, you know, lives a perfect life either. So
You don't feel like you're exposing yourself too much or anything like that?
I mean, that's the thing is, if, you know, people are judged by people with how things that have happened in their life, whether they could help it or they, you know, they could. So I mean, everybody's different. Nobody's better than anybody else. You know, in a sense, we all suck. You know, like there's no looking past that. So I don't know. It's I mean, you might as well let people know what's happened to you and how you feel if, you know, a lot of people are going to hear about it. You know, so.
Now, I think we can all agree about. I think we can all agree about the fact that deathcore and death metal in general, that it's just filled with cliches. When, you know, with the way that bands portray themselves as being just like hateful and hostile and all the gore and everything. How aware are you of these cliches?
I mean, you know, it's for us, like, I don't know, it's like, I don't want to be one of those bands that, like, you know, gets mad that somebody calls us deathcore, but like, for us personally, it's just kind of like, whatever, we don't care. Like, for us, as far as we're concerned, we're just a metal band. Like, we just play what we want to play. If that happens to be, we mix blast beats and breakdowns, and that's what it happens to be, you know, and, like, I don't know, I feel like as we've grown older, like, we haven't really become like jaded or anything like that. You know, we're not like, oh, well, like, screw all these young bands. You know, they just have this stupid sound, blah blah blah. It's just, I mean, like, we were all there at one point too. You know, so it's just like, I feel like as we grow older, we just care less and less. You know, it's just like, I don't know, we just consider ourselves a metal band, and we just try to write just the heaviest, darkest music we can. So.
What are your thoughts on the deathcore scene in general? The way it is, because you know, you get the feeling sometimes that a lot of the deathcore kids, they're very judgmental when it comes to other genres, you know, and they, like with the emos, they're all about oh, it's not about the music and it's only about fashion and everything. That's the way they talk about the emos. But and how are the deathcore kids any different? I mean, because you sometimes get the feeling that it's all about, you know, who has the biggest tunnels and who has the most tattoos. And is it really about the music for most deathcore kids?
I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna be true, like, real. Like, no, it's not. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, who has the coolest merch? Who has fuck, you know, as big as they can on a shirt? And, like, I mean, we have that shit too. Because, I mean, you know, you gotta buy into that shit. You gotta sell it. You know, I mean, because if you don't sell it, then you're just gonna be one of those bands that just washes away with all the rest of them. You know, so, like, I don't know. We try to reach every demographic we can, whether it be, you know, the 16-year-old kids that wear the fuck shirts, or the 40-year-old people who actually care about album art, you know. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's just different demographics in music, and if you limit yourself to one demographic, then you're selling yourself short. But if you can kind of touch base with every single one of them, then you're kind of, you know, maximizing your demographic that you can sell to.
People just need to get in touch with the reality that we're in a new generation and it's going to change. Like, all these other guys that go on the internet and talk shit, I mean, like, they're just, like he said earlier, they're just old and they're jaded. They're mad that this is what's happened. It's just like, I mean, well, there's nothing you can do about it, so you might as well just stop talking about it. I mean, things are going to change. The world has changed as the years have gone by, and so has music. So, I mean, there's no reason to whine, piss, and moan about it, you know? I mean, it's just, and like, you know, all the internet stuff, like, whatever, I don't care. Like, all those people that sit at their houses and, you know, talk about all these bands, you know, I mean, basically what they're doing is they're not in a band touring, so they're just going to sit there and just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and just run their mouth constantly. And it's just really stupid that it comes to that, you know. And, you know, people, and the other thing is too, is like people have their own like view on music too. Like all those people on there are gonna say like, well, if you can't run your fingers all up and down the guitar and just shred like crazy, then you're not a good guitar player. That's not what that means. It, you know, like what that, you know, people write music to catch people's attention, not to make people sit there and think and try to figure out what's going on. That's not enjoyable, not to me anyway. But I mean, I can appreciate somebody's musicianship, but I mean, when it comes to songwriting, it all depends on if you've got that song stuck in someone's head, then you've done your job. To me.
Okay, what are your plans for 2011? What's to come yet now from Whitechapel?
Well, after this tour, we go home and we have like a month and a half off. So, you know, I'm sure all of us will go do our own thing and enjoy time with our friends and families and loved ones and stuff. And then after that, we're going to be a part of this year's Summer Slaughter in the U.S. So we're, you know, direct supporting Black Dahlia Murder. That'll be a lot of fun. You know, we're good friends with those guys. And a couple of other bands we're friends with are on there, like Darkest Hour and Oceano and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good time. And then for the rest of the year, we have some more U.S. touring lined up. But, you know, I can't really talk about it or anything, so.
And where do you see yourselves going as far as progressing and, you know, in this scene, evolving? Do you want to stay in this scene, or is this something that you want to work on, you know, establish?
Well, I mean, you know, we're not one of those bands that wants to alienate our, you know, our, like, certain fans or anything like that. Like, the people that listened to our first CD, Somatic Defilement, we still appreciate them because they got us where we are today. So we want to put out material that everyone will like. We're not like, oh, well, screw all the people that listen to our first CD. We want to do what we want. Like, you know, we're going to put out this next CD that sounds nothing like anything we've done. Like, we're not that kind of band. Like, we're not going to alienate our fans like that. So as far as, like, us evolving, like, it's just going to be expanding on the sound that we've already built, not really changing anything, you know, so.
Well, do you have anything you want to say to your German fans?
Thanks for all the support, and hopefully we'll see you guys over here next time we come.
Oh yeah, just come out to the shows, hang out, and we'll keep touring as long as you keep supporting. And to all the negative YouTubers out there, keep hating, keep talking your shit, and I'll talk to you when you find the cure for cancer. Other than that, I'll see you later.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.